Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining the Truth Hurtz podcast. My name is Malibus. Today is going to be an absolutely explosive episode. If you are dealing with CPS and you've been dealing with the fact that your rights have been violated on a 4th Amendment, 14th Amendment, and you are seeking justice, today is the episode that you are going to want to watch. So stay tuned. Hello, everybody. Thank you for sticking around. Today's podcast is going to be mind-blowing, okay? If you are dealing with CPS, your rights have been violated, 4th Amendment rights. So you got CPS agents and police officers busting through the door, removing your children under criminal offenses, which is removing your children without a court order or warrant. You're going to want to stick around. If your 14th Amendment rights have been violated, if you've never received a trial by jury inside of your CPS case, you're going to want to stick around. Today is absolutely explosive. Today, we are going to be exposing massive amounts of treason and sedition in every single state. It doesn't matter what state you live in. You could live in Utah, California, Idaho, Tennessee, Texas, Florida. It doesn't matter what state you live in. Today is the day that we expose everything. And I'm excited. Today we have a special guest, but before we do that, I want you guys to know that we've been exposing this corruption, not on the level that we're about ready to do today, but we've been reaching the people across the nation, training them on their rights, how to stand on those rights with authority, and it's been working. The system is being recognized for what it is, and CPS is the biggest child trafficking organization in the world, and things are about to get exposed. If you're looking at furthering your education, okay, and you have Amazon, go to Amazon, pick up my book, Constitutional Protector Against CPS. I am the author of that. It's a fantastic book. It's a bestseller on Amazon. So if you have $20, go there, pick it up. You'll have it within 2 to 3 days. And quite honestly, it's got some amazing reviews. So go check it out. Other than that, I'm going to bring on a guest. His name is Gunner. He's been helping expose the massive amounts of treason in every single state. This man did so much research in what we're about to expose, it kind of blows my mind. And I have a pretty extensive knowledge of how these courts are operating, how CPS operates. And when we started talking about the level of treason and sedition that every single state is involved in, it kind of blew my mind. So it's a pleasure for me to bring on my guest. His name is Gunner. He's fantastic. He's knowledgeable, and I can't wait to get started. So, Gunner, welcome in.
Thank you, Dallas. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, how's your day?
Well, we're getting the tail end of that nice little hurricane stuff. So it's been wet, and more wet.
Well, at least you guys are safe. And you guys still have your house. That's right.
Yes, we're definitely above. We live in the Great Smoky Mountains in the great state of Tennessee. Love the beauty and everything here. There is some floodings in the lowlands. Gatlinburg has got flooded out again, and a few other places we're seeing some flooding. But where we're at right now, I don't think there's a chance unless somebody's going to start building another ark. Then I'll start worrying.
Well, I think they did build another ark. We just got to go get it.
It's up in Kentucky, from what I understand. So yeah. Well,
so what are we exposing today? What are we exposing today?
So what we have on this research I've spent, and this has been, listen, guys, this has been a team effort. This has been a little bit of Dallas. This has been a little bit, of my wife, constitutional attorneys, constitutional professors, talking to, you people out there, just getting a grasp of every bit of it, researching within, understanding that you don't use a Webster's dictionary. When you deal with this stuff, you have to deal with a Black's Law dictionary. It's a whole different thing. So you understand these things. Black's Law Dictionary, baby. That's it. That's what the terminology they speak right there. And what we're going to take and what we've done within this research is we have gone through CPS in every state and gone through policies, procedures of the states and everything else, and found out that they are actually paying and employing their employees and subcontractors using your tax state dollars and federal funds to train people to violate your constitutional rights. And that includes even directly from printing saying they have a right to enter your home without a warrant. They have a right to enter your home unlimitedly without a warrant for each time they enter the home, which is required to do, or they have a right to question you on your private property. These are all constitutional rights violations. Now, the biggest one, especially with the case law that's come up with the SEC versus Jarsky that just came out of June of this year, also says that all those cases, including child support cases, all have to take and have a jury. In other words, you went before just a judge or a magistrate, your constitutional rights were violated and your Seventh Amendment was violated.
But they tell you inside of court that you can't have a jury trial. You're not allowed to have a trial by jury in these civil courts.
Unfortunately, it specifically says within SEC Jarsky, it deals with civil matters. Civil only. This is not for criminal court. This is for civil courts, is what it's done. And you've got to understand, every state out there has printed, not just said, they have printed for the public of their treason and sedition. Here's an example that's up on the screen right now of the state of Tennessee. Now, Dallas, let's flip over to say page 6.
Page 6? All right, here we go.
Page 6.
Now, it's a little fine print, for the screen, but you'll have to
second paragraph down, okay? At the onset of the investigation, the investigator will hold an initial interview with your child to determine their immediate safety. This interview will take place away from the alleged abuser, either at home, school, or in another safe location. Your consent is not required for an interview to take place. Same thing is on page 7. Let's give you a little bit of facts now. 1, you cannot interview a child without a parent's permission. That is unconstitutional and is illegal. It is protected. Second thing that comes off, it's in your home. Unless you have a warrant, you cannot come into a home. And that has to be an Article 1 or Article 3 court that issues those warrants and or court orders by law. And if they don't have that, that's no entry. And Dallas has got a segment, I believe, up on the proper ways to look at a warrant to make sure it's even valid and stamped and signed in the right places.
So one of the things that we teach, Gunner, in on my page, on my TikTok page, on my Instagram page, is that the reason why we are in the position that we're in now, most parents, is because most parents don't understand their rights. I would say a good chunk, 95% of parents on American soil have no idea what their rights are. And when CPS shows up at their door, they're just bombarded with, hey, I have the authority. I don't need your consent and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? How do we hold them accountable to these laws and these constitutionally protected rights? Well, we record them.
Yep.
We record them, and that holds them accountable. So when they say, hey, I don't need your consent, oh, really? Well, now that I have that on evidence, we're going to hold you accountable to that.
Mm-hmm.